So here I was working on a Mazda Miata with the 2-liter engine. It was like a 2007. It had this code P0037, low voltage of heated oxygen sensor. And basically means that the oxygen sensor, it has a heater, right? And it heats it up so it could read the oxygen and the chemicals coming out of the catalytic converter. Or more so the oxygen, how much oxygen is coming out of it. And there's 4 data pins I was looking at, but more so 2 of them that were important. The first 2 are to see if the heaters are on for sensor 1, sensor 2, and then the second one is the 2 bottom ones are for the voltage of the sensors. So I'm looking at bank 1, sensor 2, and that's what the code is for. And basically what was happening the whole time is when I turned on the car, it would stay down at like 0.005 volts for like a really, really long time. And that's not what it's supposed to do, but it's supposed to read after like, a couple minutes of idling or the car warming up, it's supposed to start reading, between 0 and 1 volts. And because it's the sensor 2, it's supposed to stay pretty steady at around 0.7, 0.8 volts. And I'm going to show a little drawing that I made of what it was doing. So if you have this code, you can observe your data too and see if it's doing the same thing that mine was doing, because that's how I knew it was bad. So like I said, if you're looking at it, between 5 and 10 minutes, it was staying at about 0.005 volts and 0.01 volts. And I was revving it up and it just wasn't really doing anything. I was like, the sensor was dead. But once it got really high, like around 20 minutes of, just driving it around, it finally started to read good. Like I said, around 0.7, 0.8 volts. And then the way to test it is to give your car, letting it idle, in park, is give it a snap throttle, where you just push the throttle or press the gas all the way down and let go like really quickly and see how it responds. And what mine was doing is it would go all the way down to 0.005, and then it would just stay like that. And that's bad. It's not supposed to be doing that. It's supposed to, dip down to around that voltage and then come back up. All right. And that's what it's supposed to do. And I'll show at the end of this video how a new one was reacting. But if it's reading normally, then you give it a snap throttle and it goes down in voltage and it doesn't recover, then that's how you have a pretty bad oxygen sensor. You also want to make sure you have no exhaust leaks, because it could also be affecting it. And another test I was doing was I was testing the ohmage of the heater circuit on the oxygen sensor. This is the new one, and the 2 black wires are the heater circuit. And I'll show a wiring diagram of what the wire colors are for the wires coming from the computer to the oxygen sensor, because they're different. So on a good sensor, it's about 16 ohms. And on this old sensor, there was an open in the heater circuit. So that's why it was never really heating up, because there was an open, so the oxygen sensor wasn't getting hot fast enough, which is basically what the code is for. As you can see, I have my pins on the 2 black wires, or those 2 pins, or those 2 terminals, and it's not reading anything. And the recommended manufacturer is Denso. That's the OEM manufacturer, I believe. And then here, to get to the connector, is quite simple. You could do it from the passenger side. You gotta take out the wheel, or down here where there's a splash guard and it has a hole in it. You can get to the connector pretty easy. There's the connector for the computer side, and you can do your testing there. And remember, when you're gonna do the testing, like putting a test light to it, you want to use the terminals that correspond with the 2 black wires on the O2 sensor, and they're going to be a different color, because that's just how they do it. And this is the setup I used to take off the oxygen sensor with a 1/2-inch ratchet. And as you can see, I have my hand at the bottom here, and I'm trying to show how easy it is to get. This is the part number for the oxygen sensor. It is a Denso. And this is the data I was showing at the end once I put in the new oxygen sensor. So if you look at it, it has a slow climb, but that was only like a minute or 2. You know, it was reading low, but then after a minute or two, it started to climb up to about 0.7, 0.8, which is good. It's not supposed to take 5, 10, 20 minutes to finally start reading. And this is a good this is a good voltage, 0.7, 0.8. And what I did right there is I did a snap throttle test. I snapped the throttle, and you can see it dipped down, and then it recovered really quickly, whereas the old one wasn't recovering. It took a while to recover. And I'll do it a couple times, but so you can keep watching and keep seeing what a good oxygen sensor is supposed to do. So yeah, if you have this code, it's probably your oxygen sensor, but you want to make sure you want to test as much as possible. And I'll provide a wiring diagram at the end here if you need it. So if you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll try to help you out.